Hey, what up, mother flowers? It's your boy Log Zero, and I am here with.
It's your main man, Rev. What's going on, guys? How's it doing?
And we are here to bring you the latest and the greatest in the One Piece verse.
Yeah, we got that hot pirate action fresh off the presses. Can't wait to discuss it. We got chapter 1026 coming at you today.
The pivotal clash. I think this was more accessible to Western readers. This chapter title. Because I don't remember what the fan translation was like. The Tenzo Shin whatever point.
It was something that didn't really click with me at all. I was like, okay, let's skip next part. But cover art is looking really cool. Very kawaii, very cute. It's Nami. She's in a couture shop taking measurements of this little baby lion with this proud papa in the background. And just an I am a lion shirt. And Oda leaves a reference that it's I think in another note it said that it was similar to what Belmare was wearing.
It's what she made for her. But before we get into the chapter, let me just say really quick, please hit that like and subscribe button. Help us out, show a little support. You know, it's free, so it would be greatly beneficial to us if you could help us out in that manner. And
also definitely follow us on Journey to Raptor, our Instagram page. Be sure to comment on all of our posts. Bomb us with all the information you want. We'll be sure to be having lots of engagement over there.
Yeah. We got big plans for our social media, so we're gonna get more active in the community, and hope you guys are along for the ride and wanna engage with us. So yeah, man. With that being said, let us get into the chapter.
Oh, also another note from the cover. I didn't even notice Leo there taking measurements too.
Yeah.
Nami with her Conqueror's hockey dress, and Leo with his full black clothes on as well. Obviously channeling their hockey to take measurements, because that's a very important thing to do.
But it was the dress that Bellemere made for Nami, and then it led to the whole thing where she's like, I hate being poor and all that kind of jazz, So good to see she's embracing it. She's even though she's materialistic,
she loves being poor now.
Well, I mean, she loves money, but she understands this. What's the word? It's a value that's not inherently monetary.
Materialism.
No. Like there's a word for it. It's like sentimental value. There you go. She understands the sentimental value. She understands the gesture behind the gift, so she'll appreciate that.
Yeah, and we appreciate her wearing it 10 years later. No. But anyways, we're going to jump right into the chapter, and we start off near the capital of Wano, the flower capital. And it's a big party. It's a fire festival in the middle of the night. Everyone's drunk, everyone's having fun, the lights are on, everyone's doing the thing. And we see Otoko with Otama's guardian, this swordsmith, I forget his name. You can help me out there.
Tenguyama. This is the guy everybody thinks is Sukiyaki, Odin's father. So yeah, just a quick recap of this. Don't want to get bogged down too many details, but the gist is, the festival is going on. We get a recap of how Otama split off from them and went to Onigashima. She just kind of dipped with Speed, and Speed was like, "Oh, protect her," and she left against his wishes. But he's with Otoko, just kind of cruising around in the flower capital.
Odin's dad is hella dead, so I don't know.
We don't have a strong confirmation, and also there's the whole thing. Like I said before, the voice actor who's playing Tenguyama is the same guy who plays Sukiyaki. I don't know. I mean, it follows. One Piece has a theme of deposed kings or attempted deposed kings, who would then come up and take up the throne. Like Cobra was almost taking out King Dordo, King Riku, whatever.
Yeah.
He came in and took his place as king afterwards because the people loved him, etc., etc. So I'm kind of seeing a common thread in,
Could be, but now that Momo is an adult, I think that kind of changes a little bit of the dynamic, because now he can take the Shogun role immediately. But we digress. And as the man is, talking to Otako, we see in the background Onigashima floating towards the fire festival.
Yep,
so we are close.
It is visible in the sky from the point.
We
of
have
the festival.
12 minutes to go now on the clock. But we see one of the what is it?
The Marys.
The Mary. Yeah,
it's like a human Mary. He's it's a dude with the little face tag thing going on.
One of the pleasures possible, or the waiters. Yeah. So it's reporting on the situation. Can't tell what's really going on, and displaying conveying to the audience that I don't even believe what's going on. It's a sight that makes me question. And we see Momo and Kaido, but he just calls it out as that Luffy's riding the Pink Dragon. So
yeah,
he's getting updates with this, but not getting a full clear picture of it right away.
Right, he's letting everybody know the status. He's letting them know Yamato's still alive. She's injured, and there's 2 dragons fighting up here. And he's saying also like, hey, we don't know what this dragon is, but obviously it's adversarial. It's fighting with Kaido, this big pink dragon, and Luffy is riding on his back. So yeah, it is. Yeah, Queen throws in a little.
And awesomeness.
Yeah, Queen throws in a little commentary. He's saying like, oh, he recognizes Yamato was dealing with Kaido, and yeah, he's Kaido shoots a Boro breath, and nicely Momonosuke dodges it, spirals around.
He's got good limbo skills.
Yeah.
And he tells Kaido, I'm not here to fight, and Luffy's like, hold on, this ain't gonna last. He whispers something to Momo replies in shock, and he's like, I can't do that. Luffy jumps off, smacks Kaido to the earth, threw him to the ground, and Momo remembers exactly what Luffy just said. We get an immediate, it's not a secret, it's not going to be a long delayed out thing. He tells him, yo, bite Kaido, because you need a little bit of courage. You're acting like a bitch right now. And Momo at first is afraid, but then he remembers, how Kaido murdered his family, and how he was going to throw him off the edge of the tower, so he grows a little bit of Dragon Balls and bites Kaido, who reacts in pain. He goes wide-eyed, screams out, ah, and he remembers the insults that Kaido, shot Odin's way, and makes him bite down even harder.
Bite the dragon!
And I'm like, oh man, I guess the Dragon Fang attack is super effective. Dragon against dragon, double effectiveness. But Kaido turns around and he's like, what are you doing?
Why are you biting me? Yeah, he ain't too pleased with this. And I don't know, it's kind of hard to gauge the efficacy of this. Like, is this really...
I didn't see any blood, so I don't think this hurt him at all. I think it was just like...
I took it more as a gag kind of thing, with Kaido screaming out in pain, being like, oh! Like, it was just more like a nuisance more than anything.
Yeah, it's just like when you get stung, it's like, it doesn't feel good. You're like, what the... it's like a reaction. It's an involuntary flinch.
Yeah.
So, Luffy jumps in, and, praises Momo for his bravery, hits him with a little Emperor's Haki shot straight to Kaido, so Kaido's getting smacked around. Love it.
It's so stupid of him to go into this large dragon form. I don't recall any moment where it's been effective for him to use it. It's just a waste of time.
Well, here's the thing: is that I don't see him getting hurt in it. Like, I know he's getting damage, but like it's not. I don't think it's like actually doing any HP damage. Like it's like maybe 1, not very effective. And so he doesn't have to. He doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't have to be strategic, because like he's not really. He doesn't know that. He knows there's no one who can do any damage except like 5 people. So.
Right.
Now that Luffy is smacking him around, and I think that comes into play later, we'll see what happens. But, so we see the storm clouds, and we see the effect it's having on the main battlefield, and the Sulong form is over, and Dogtrum and Neko Mamuchi are in very dire straits. They're getting, clapped by Jack and Betos Beto right now. Betos Beto with a crazy axe, candy axe. He has some pretty creative, scary-ass weapons.
Yeah.
And
I just want to comment on this. Like, yeah, it is confirmed that Jack's hybrid form is this Minotaur, or not Minotaur, Centaur. And I'm not even sure which part denotes, what? Like, is it the Sen is the animal part, or the Tor? Is in that case, is he like a centaur because he's like a mammoth or something? Like, I don't know.
He's a mammotaurus.
A mammotar. But yeah, they're Jack and Perospero are talking shit to Inu and Neko. Too long wore off because of clouds, and they're and conveniently mentioning, oh man, if you got one more hit on me, that would have been over.
I can feel it. I feel your punches.
Listen,
Exactly. One more hit. That's all I have.
My HP is less than 10 right now. If you would have gotten that, if you would have inflicted burn on me or something, then I think you would have wrapped up this battle, but ain't happening.
Not today. And so you see Carrot and Wanda in the background, and they mention, oh, the Sulong form Wanda. And instead of jumping in and helping, they're just being useless and looking on.
Yeah.
We see the samurai comment, and now that Luffy name dropped Momo, they're aware that the Lord is back in the battle. And he mentions to the battlefield, hey, it's like, by the way, also hyping up Momo, having the effect of, hyping up the battle as well. He tells Momo, you just took a bite out of Kaido. What do you have to be afraid of? Nothing. That's it. Ain't nothing in this world stronger. There's no evil bad guy on Mary Joas, possibly stronger than all these combined. It doesn't exist. This is the scariest thing. And for all you know it is. But so Momo's reassured, his courage is rising, Yamato's looking unhappy, and we hear we see the effect this has on Sanji and Zoro, and they're like, wait a minute, that big dragon was Momo, couldn't be, but they're at least still holding on to the battle. That's good to know that King and Queen haven't really done anything serious. They're just huffing really hard. And they're like, I think next chapter is our chapter. But in the next panel, we see Luffy, straight up to Kaido as well with this. Like, yeah, don't worry about Kaido, I got this. And then everybody's rallied, everybody's fired up, everyone's like, yes! Even Big Mom is like, yeah, get him, strong.
Well, she's thinking this guy's, she's thinking he's
that's not really what she says, but
what a funny guy. Like, I'm wondering how shocked she's gonna be when
he
Kaido
comes down and smacks her in the face.
But yeah, she's still engaged with Kid and Kid in Law, and Kid is like, you better win. And that's kind of weird. Like, he's kind of putting aside his own little personal vendetta of wanting to be the one to take out Kaido, and Law is just angry, saying, what has he been doing all this time? Listen, I'm dealing with Big Mom. I might have some support, but why are you taking L's over there? But yeah, everybody's getting.
He's only been through this in the last arc. What does he mean? Like, this has happened with him the entire time. He was like, oh, okay, finally. He should be asking, finally. He's like, he's at the third stage. This is the real battle. That's what a lot of the reaction should have been. Like, you gone through this. You know what's gonna happen. So we see the other combatants. We see Usopp, Nami, and Otama. And they're relieved and happy that everybody's safe. We see a little clip of Frankie, and he's like, yeah, get him, Luffy. Mm-hmm. And the other prisoners on Udon are celebrating. They're cheering on. Like, let's go, Luffy Taro.
Yeah.
And it's cool out of nowhere, panels. Quick transformation.
It's cool.
He heard your advice, man.
Let me drop this weak ass dragon form and just kind of move things along here.
But yeah, that punch actually kind of hurt.
He's looming at Luffy. He's getting ready to strike him, jumping up in the air, and he's asking him, is there even a single chance you could beat me? And as long as I'm alive, I have infinite chances. Kaido's like, maybe I need to unalive you really quick, But yeah, they have.
It swipes in with the non-verbal thunder Bakuas. It's extra strong. Luffy with just a regular punch, and their clash splits the sky.
This is a big fucking moment, dude. Like, this is like the
Big Mom Kaido moment.
What's
when
the
they
word?
clash.
Hallmark, or this is like this is the big boy maneuver. This is how you've made it in the One Piece world. Once you split the sky, like this has been touted as a super high emperor feat, top tier feat. So
Kaido did Shanks and Whitebeard have that moment?
Yeah.
Also,
yeah.
Exactly. So, boom, big moment. Yeah, big moment. So, Luffy did a little flex here. His Conqueror Saki, and they hit so hard they clear the sky. The moon is back out, and we all know what that means the second we see that.
Yep.
Sulong back on the table. They go Super Saiyan, Kaioken ×5, and use Odin One Sword style. Take out Jack and Beto Spedo with their super moves, and the board is cleared.
And for anybody who's questioning, how effective were these attacks? They made very deliberate panels saying, hey, eldest son of the Big Mom Pirates, Beto Spedo, and lead performer of the Animal Kingdom Pirates, Beto Spedo and
down,
Jack.
Out.
Yep, down and out.
Out.
So,
Dunzo.
Yep.
Eyes white.
Yep.
They cannot reemerge in this battle. It's over.
Mm-hmm.
And Neko's attack in particularly looks like vicious. It looks like he breaks Pedo's fake arm. It looks like he puts a hole through his chest and possibly takes out his other arm. Don't mess with the Minx. Don't force them to blow themselves up trying to escape you. It won't end good. And then, and I will give props too. Kicking a hole through Jack is pretty cool. But I saw this man survive underwater and get punched by a giant elephant. So the more damaging looking was definitely the feline frenzy attack.
He broke his
paw swipe.
he broke his championship belt, man. Like, if that's not symbolic, I don't know what is. Usually when an enemy is defeated, something that kind of represents that enemy is destroyed along. Not to say his belt has been established as his trademark, but it's a part of his design. So I think symbolically it's saying he broke him. And but after this little confrontation, the chapter wraps up in the last panel. Orochi is back.
My least favorite character ever.
Orochi's back in the shadows, and he's surprised that Jack was taken out, but he says, "But I guess that's not my problem." So, the end of this chapter, and so afterthoughts. I guess we'll work backwards since we're kind of on this now. But I knew Orochi wasn't dead. I think this might indicate what the outcome of Raizo and Fukurokuju was, because I'm pretty sure Fukurokuju is instrumental to Orochi being revived. Either that.
I don't think so. I don't think it has anything to do with it. Actually, I think he has a life counter, and that's gonna be its own separate thing. I don't think. I think they're still actively doing weird ninja stuff.
When shit went down before, they and the Mimi Watagumi were fighting. The captain of the Mimi Watagumi was looking at Fukurokuju, and he was like, "Why is he just awkwardly walking away from everything that's going on?" And he was with Orochi when Orochi was revived. So I think there's some kind of ritual or ceremony that is involved in reviving him. But who knows? Maybe it's it's something he already had engaged while he was fighting Raizo, and it was just...
maybe he snuck a piece of the head off or something. Like he can spawn from that piece or something. Maybe that's what it is. And he's just carrying little pieces of him and allowing it to respond. Who knows? This is all conjecture. But
right.
Orochi not dead. I think he has maybe 4 lives left or something. Hopefully we get to see Momonosuke eat him and then become a dragon hydra.
Right. And what do you think Orochi's next move is? Do you think he's gonna try to make a side deal with CP0 to kind of take things over?
I think he's still looking. That'd be pretty smart, but I think he's still looking to just cause destruction. That's kind of his modus operandi. I think that's what he's really focused on, because he's trying to burn the castle down. Yeah. I think his next move is to try to figure out how to destroy Kaido's clouds and just sink Onigashima immediately to destroy everybody at the same time. But that would be interesting, because that would mean he would have...
He's in self-destruct mode right now? He has no thoughts for self-preservation or
I think so, because he's always been I just want to cause the most death and destruction possible before I go. I think he's accepted his death for a long time. So I think he's just looking to stay alive as long as he can before he does his final everybody dies move.
Right. Maybe. I think there's a possibility. I think he might want to try to pull some kind of win out of the ashes, and maybe hasn't quite recognized hey, I'm done for. So he knows that he has bargaining tools with CP0, and if it looks like...
Does he anymore though? Because I think his bargaining tool was that he had Kaido on his back. Now that he doesn't. What's his tool?
It's still difficult to get into the land of Wano, and there's natural defenses and stuff. Yeah, Kaido is a huge deterrent, but I guess that's
not
true,
really,
because he used Kaido as a direct threat to CP0 when they were trying to pressure him into giving them more resources and stuff. So that is a valid fact. But maybe
it'd be really weird if CP0 turned to kill him. So got one of those lives no, we remember threats. We don't like you. This is for Rob Nucci. And then continuing the trend of working backwards, we see Captain Commanders dropping left and right. So Pedo, Spedo, and Jack. I think Pedo might be dead. I he got really messed up. Maybe, but probably not. Just because, like you said, Odin doesn't like killing people. It's good to see Jack finally off the board, and I'm so glad it was one of the Minks doing it, getting back that pride, and definitely cool with the kick. I liked it, but definitely liked Neko's final attack better.
Yeah, it looked
just the way it looked visually.
Yeah. And it's interesting. I mean, I guess with this kind of symmetry between Perospero and Jack, I mean, you kind of have to consider them to be more or less on the same level. Like, I mean, Jack is obviously, like, I would think he has more offensive power, but I think what Perospero might lack in offensive power, he'll make up for in smarts and cleverness and shit. So, I would maybe even kind of put them in the same realm of capabilities.
I just feel like Jack has more endurance, and Perospero has like more like
maneuvering,
offense. Yeah, I think he has a better offense, but I don't think he has like good stamina, like
right.
HP. If we're gonna do that like theme again,
yeah.
Because Jack does get messed up a lot. He does. I think Perospero doesn't take on too many hits, and he's just as deadly. If not probably more. Just because his candy ability I think works better offensively than dumb mammoth swing punches.
Right.
That you can like call a mile away.
Yeah.
But that's just my opinion. I think Pedo was the deadlier of the two. But it's good to see them both dead.
He has more in his toolbox. Like Jack just seems like a brawler versus Perospero, who can set up traps and slow people down and
change the outcome of battles because he thinks.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of people are disappointed with Jack. Like, Jack was the first person to be introduced with a bounty of $1 billion and higher, I mean? So a lot of people were just like, oh man, like, what is this guy gonna do? And it's just the thing is, with his portrayal, he's accomplished big feats, but it's been off screen, you know what I mean?
Well, it's two things too. You gotta remember, I mean, he did fight an admiral and stuff, and he did two because he fought Sengoku and Fujitora at the same time. Mm-hmm. But it's also just like the bounties thing is also about how notorious you are, like how many crazy things you've done, and I'm sure he killed a lot of people. They call him the Drought. He likes to destroy countries for fun. So I feel like that probably is more because he's been blowing and mutilating people, which is like like a lot worse than just like robbing a town. Like it seems like he's just a darker element, and they accurately portray that. I think that's the value there versus like Queen and King's bounty is because of skill. Also, and probably more in Queen's instant because of what he's capable of doing.
Yeah, with biological warfare and shit. Yeah. Going further backwards, the sky splitting. So, you told me before you had a question for me, a pressing question. Is
Luffy on Kaido's level now?
I mean, it's a very high indication that that's the case. I mean, who knows? I mean, it's kind of gonna be told through the next battle. We're gonna see how this goes, but
in your opinion,
yeah,
you think he's there? Has he reached the mountaintop?
You're gonna put me on the spot. Yes, I'm gonna go ahead and say yes. High probability of yes, anyway. If he's not 100% there, I want to say he's like 80 to 90% of the way there. Maybe he needs a little cherry on top to really,
Okay. But yeah, we'll have to find out what that cherry could be, whatever that might look like. But
who knows? Maybe he's gonna do something that's gonna seem like an even bigger feat than the sky splitting thing, and then it'll be definitive. Like, okay, Luffy has surpassed the level of Yonko.
I thought you were going to say surpass the level of Yamato. Maybe he finally breaks the club. I think that could be a big moment, and I'm predicting that.
Yeah, again with the symbology of when you defeat an enemy in One Piece, you defeat some part of their attire that's kind of intrinsic to their design and shit. Like Kaido is kind of heavily associated with his club. So breaking that club is going to be a very strong indication of...
well, I think he's going to break his mustache as the final thing. It's just going to shatter because it's so terrible. That'll be it. Or maybe like even one of the horns, like, Zoro broke a horn off Onigashima. Mm-hmm. Luffy will break a horn off his freaking head. That would be insane.
That would be pretty
What happened to your horn? Goddamn straw hat, Luffy punched it off.
But yeah, super high level conquerors hockey. The Mary guy who was broadcasting was knocked out from their clash. I'm sure other people, other combatants felt that throughout the vicinity. Let me see. I mean, like, this is a pretty action-packed chapter, so there's, like I said, there's not a lot to debate on. I liked Luffy and Momonosuke's moment. The little secret thing where he whispered in his ear and then left felt kind of awkward to me. Like, could have
just said it. Just could have said it, like, straight in front of Kaido, like, and then it could be like Kaido laughing about it, and then it's like, not laughing, turning, the laughter into, like, shock or something. That could have been a better narrative way to do it, right? Because I was like, oh, maybe he's gonna tell him something, extra epic that'll, like, play out. But it was just like, bite this guy. You could have just said it out loud. Could have just
I mean, narratively, I'm not hating it. It was more so for me just the aesthetic of it, like the portrayal and the panels, and it just felt weird to me, like the transitions and the panels and like how quickly it happened, and it felt kind of awkward. Like as a concept, it's not a bad thing. He's hyping him up and stuff. But either way, I like his comment of after you've bitten a Yonko, is there anything left for you to be scared of? And very inspiring for him to hear. And Momonosuke taking this to heart. We're seeing more and more character growth from Momonosuke. So that's super cool. I'm glad to see that.
Getting his revenge on. Interesting seeing Big Mom not having killed Law and Kid yet, because it doesn't feel like they're on her level. So I'm like, what's she doing? She just like playing around with it, like just like really bored. Like, Straw Hat Luffy really deserves a chance to go kill Kaido. Like, what's going on? Is she like playing the smart game? Is she like, oh, they're gonna take each other out, and then I'm gonna come in and finish them both off? That could be more, like logical. It's like, oh yeah, now that they're both down or damaged, my turn, because she's seen, right, that Luffy's able to do Conqueror's hockey stuff. So maybe she had that in the back of her mind. I mean, like, maybe she was playing around before, but now she's like, okay, let's see where this can go. Maybe. She seems very, she orchestrated the whole Sanji wedding, Vince Smoke betrayal thing. Like, you can't say she's dumb.
I mean, we don't know who was whispering in her ear, giving her instructions or quote-unquote suggestions that become her actual plans. So I think there's a lot of that going on. I mean, from the very beginning of her inception as a pirate, we saw
a lot of Game of Thrones things going on with the side scenes.
We saw Streusen and how he kind of like molded her to what he wanted her to be. So that's something to take into consideration. I think more than anything, a lot of Big Mom's crew are kind of running things behind the scenes and working around her more so than going forward with her plans. Like, she says what she wants, and then everybody around her has to actualize it and make it happen. But a comment on Big Mom versus Kid and Law. I mean, she is a little scuffed up. I don't know if that's necessarily blood or anything, but at the very least, she's a little dirty or whatever. I mean, Kid and Law look way worse for the wear than she does. But I think they're doing a decent job. And more than anything, I mean, Kid has caught a lot of shit. Some people, give him an L just because he's been kind of lackluster. Like, so many people want to like Kid, myself included. His design is cool, his attitude is cool. Yeah, exactly. He hasn't really done anything like noteworthy. But when Big Mom decked him, he didn't just get one shot. He smiled about it and then like launched her in the air with his little magnet arm.
And he hit her, and like but like it didn't look like it did any damage either. Like a little bit of blood would have been like hella impressive. It's just like, okay, there's something there. There might be like, and we know that he can do Conqueror's hockey. We know this, but like he hasn't shown it in a battle. You gotta do something. Even it seems like Law is putting up more damage. Just with his internal shock stuff. It's like he's like, all right, I can't do Conqueror's hockey yet. This will work for him.
Right.
And I do think Law is capable of Conqueror's hockey.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't recall if we mentioned this. I don't think we did. But yeah, Luffy at the end told Momonosuke, hey, go stop Onigashima from crashing into the capital. So Momonosuke has his own mission now. Luffy's going to be dealing with Kaido. Do you think Yamato is going to be participating in that fight between him and Kaido? Or do you think she's just an observer now?
I think she may actually go with Momo again and like leave Luffy to actually fight Kaido 1-on-1. And it's going to be her and Momo versus maybe Orochi. because then it's Odin versus Orochi again.
Seems like overkill, but
Nah, because Orochi still hasn't shown. Like I don't think Momo has the skills to take him out yet either. I think Orochi is somewhat of a threat. So, but it would be ironic if Odin, and then the guy who looks like Odin, Momo would like take out Orochi.
Right. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it was kind of, it was just an action chapter. There's really not too much to discuss. I think we covered all the highlights and high points. I mean, I guess the last thing, I kind of mentioned this before, but now Onigashima, the silhouette of it, is visible from Wano, and now also the sky's being cleared. I'm sure the next chapter where, the Wano citizens are going to be like, what the fuck is that? Like freaking out.
Does that look like a flying skull to you?
Yeah.
Can't be. You're drunk. Go home.
But yeah, I think those are all my comments for the chapter. Do you have anything else you want to add?
What is Big Mom doing? That's my big question. Other than that, steady moving on. We can jump into our prediction section because I think we've covered everything.
Well, we gotta do other things first. We gotta do our chapter grade first. So yes, chapter grade. I guess I'll go first. I'm going to give this chapter an 8.2. There was good funny moments. I appreciated that. I mean, the Conqueror's Clash was probably like the biggest epic moment of the chapter, but nothing too nuts in my opinion occurred in this chapter. And I guess the Minx taking out Jack and Perospero, and some people are upset about that because it's like we didn't really get anything from that fight, and I get it's like, okay, we gotta kind of like move this shit along, because there's more important fights going on, but it would have been nice to see more combat between Perospero and Jack and Inuarashi and Neko. So
I'm actually gonna go a lot higher than you because I think it made sense, and I'll explain why. But my grade for this is 8.7.
Okay.
8.7. I think this is great work. Loved everything from start to finish. Seeing Momo get his balls together and fight Kaido was epic. Luffy slapping Kaido left to right was really dope. Even though I don't see any blood yet, still seems great. Still seems like he's stepped up yet another tier, which is great for me. And I think as far as taking out the commander levels, I think it made sense narratively too, because Jack was getting messed up by the guys in their base form, and they said, our secret weapon was the Sulong form. So it makes sense that when he went in there, it really caused Rain a shit ton of damage on. And the thing with Perospero is that Neko looked like he was owning him from the start when he pimp slapped him in the face and slapped him out of Onigashima. Right. So I think that made even more sense for the one hit to take out Perospero. And a little shoehorn me like, oh man, if you gave me one more hit, I would have fainted from Jack. But yeah. I think overall it does make sense for them to be defeated by the Sulong form because they had called it, even back on Zo. They were like, oh, they're just so lucky it wasn't the full moon. We'd have obliterated them. We'd have wiped them out in one night, Mm-hmm. So I think it makes sense to have that, final attack. And of course it's going to sink because they're the leaders. My only thing was, now we only have 3 fights left. King, Queen, Zoro, Sanji. But then we also have the ninja fight going on in the background. That seems like a weird one to have left for last. I don't think there's any other main class, obviously besides the top ones, but I think that's it.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's like, why wasn't that resolved first? So,
they're going to get their own whole chapter. It's going to be epic as hell. A ninja's way.
But yeah, I see your point. I think that's all for the chapter grade, unless there's any final thoughts you had for that.
No, just for me, 8.7, great stuff, top to bottom. I loved it. The chapter gave me everything I wanted and more.
Cool.
So thank you.
All right, and now we can kick it off into the MVP. I'm going to give it a combo of Neko and Inu as dual MVP. They resolved their battles and contributed greatly to the outcome of the raid and how successful it's gonna be. Other people you consider contenders, might be Momonosuke for stepping up and overcoming fear. Maybe you'd even say Luffy would deserve it more because he inspired him and pushed him to that. And also Luffy had its first splitting the sky moment. You know what I mean? So that's a big feat in and of itself. But I think overall contribution, I want to give it to Neko and Inu.
So I'm actually gonna go with your second place finisher, Luffy. Luffy's my MVP this week. Calling plays out, with Momo, seeing that Momo needed to do something to get rid of his fear, because what he's going to ask him next, he can't really be hesitating about. He can't really, not have any doubt that he can do it. So that was great, eliminating that. Seeing, Momo be inspired in the flashbacks was cool, all because of Luffy. And then his announcement to the battlefield, inspiring the samurai, rallying them up yet again.
Yeah.
Letting them know, like, oh shit, this is like, we are in the final stage of this battle, where we're here, we can do this, we can take out Kaido. They're ready for it. And then splitting the sky and smacking Kaido around. Two great shots before the tiebreak, the clash, but hitting him with the gun cannon and then hitting him in the face with, just a regular punch was hilarious. And seeing them go punch to Thunder Bagua, seeing the level that he's at now was just awesome. So for me, Luffy's an MVP. You put in work this week. You did your Luffy thing, inspiring everybody, and you're finally Yonko level, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, you didn't really wade too much into that yet. You put the question to me, but you didn't quite say what you thought if Luffy was there.
I do. I think he's at Yonko level. I don't think he's at the final level he's going to be, but I think he's there. And I think he has more to show us now.
Mm-hmm. I agree. So yeah, man, that was our MVP section, and now we can get into our predictions.
Yeah, so I think we get 19 pages ninja fight Gokuju versus Raizo.
Yeah,
and they talk about their ninja way.
Listen, this is what the fans are asking for. They don't care about Luffy or Kaido or any of that shit. They want Fukurokuju versus Raizo.
Top tier.
Yeah, seriously. I think there's probably gonna be. I'm leaning more towards that Fukurokuju won that skirmish. And that's why Orochi is back on the scene, and why they also, went to Jack and Perospero versus Inuarashi and Neko versus resolving that first, as it seems like a significantly less important fight between Raizo and Fukurokuju. So that the evidence kind of points to that for me.
I have a hopeful prediction. I hope that Ino sniffs out what's his face? Sniffs out Orochi behind him and just cuts his head off. And that's my hopeful prediction. Take out one of the lives. Pow! So you think I hear you thinking in your thought bubbles? You think I can smell your nasty ass, bro? You smell like death and hose.
But yeah. So I mean, we've gotten a lot of the scabbards. I guess you can call it their own little mini arc have been resolved through this battle. Like, Ashura Doji was taken out, Kinemon and Okiku were taken out, Kanjuro was taken out, Inu and Neko resolved their fights. So we're left with Izo, Kawamatsu, and
Kawamatsu's in the live floor.
Yeah,
doing that. Denjiro sneaked off to do his own thing.
Yeah,
and Izo was taken out too, right?
No, he's on the live floor. Okiku was taken out. Yeah. Okay. So we have those situations going on, and there was somebody else.
Raizo.
Yeah, Raizo. Yeah. So I want to say there's a high probability that Raizo shit's gonna be resolved, or maybe we get a sneak peek of what the hell Denjiro's been doing. What his
maybe he was looking for Orochi the whole time because he's had to serve him for 20 years, so he knows how he thinks, and he's like, oh, I know where you'd end up.
That'd be
I know what your plan was. I know you were gonna try and destroy it. I know this is how you planned on countering Kaido's stuff. And here you go, slash.
Yeah.
Cut you in half.
Yeah, he would be the one to know the mechanics behind Orochimaru, Jesus, behind Orochi and how he works. So
you have to get a young boy with a shotgun gun and throw him at him.
Yeah, he plays the long game. And he's behind the scenes, always observing. So it fits in his character that he would probably be showing up to deal with Orochi again and be like, nah, you thought you got away with it, motherfucker? Here you go.
Super patient, man. Yeah. I knew my moment. I was picking it up.
I retrieved my pompadour just for this specific occasion. But yeah, there's a possibility. I think we're gonna get more Luffy and Kaido.
in episode 2.
Do you think we'll get King and Queen and Zoro and Sanji stuff, or is it more postponing? Like they're just gonna be dealing with each other?
I think we're gonna postpone it for some reason. I don't think we're gonna get the full maybe we'll get a clash, but I don't think we're gonna get anywhere close to the ending of their battle for some reason. I think that's gonna maybe even sync up with Kaido getting taken out somehow. Maybe it'll get delayed that far. Who knows? But I don't think we've seen the end of the top of the guys yet. I think we deal with the littler action happening on the floor and some Luffy, Yamato Momo movement. I think that's where we go. I think we're gonna see Momo and Yamato dip off.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Luffy and Kaido clash again, and then more of the live action floor stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then hopefully the Raizo Fukurokuju. And I think we're definitely gonna get some Orochi stuff just because they ended the chapter with him, and they're gonna pick right back up with that. I don't know how much we're gonna get, but I think we're gonna pick it up. Maybe with a hopeful Denjiro looking shadow in the background looking to kill him.
Right.
That'll be awesome.
Where's San? All right, man. I guess those are all the predictions. I mean, I guess a long-term prediction I'd want to discuss is what the hell do you think is gonna happen with Big Mom? Like, it almost feels like she shouldn't even been here. She seems to have just not served much of any kind of purpose other than to
questions, because it's how are you not killing everybody? That's kind of your thing. I no disrespect to Law and Kid, because Law is one of my favorite characters, but I don't think they have the stones to hold her off. I just don't. I don't buy it. I don't think so.
You don't think the two of them together are enough to supplement each other to equal to Law and Kid don't equal one Luffy? Is that what you're thinking?
I don't think so. Which sucks. That's the difference I think with when Conqueror's Haki gets thrown in the mix when you can use it as an active force for offense.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the difference. Otherwise, Katakuri would have been more of a threat. I think on these guys. So to me, until they show the ability to use some of it, I don't think they can handle it. I think Oda wanted Kid to be on that level, but I think he needs Luffy to get there first. So maybe we'll get a moment later on with him, showing just that he can do that. Remember that he was always using maybe a scrap of it or something.
Yeah.
But I don't think even combined that they are a threat to her.
Nice, interesting. All right.
Sorry, guys. Sorry.
All right, guys. I guess that's gonna be our prediction section, and we'll be saying goodbye now. We're gonna wrap it up. Hope you enjoyed the chapter as much as we did. It was, even though it was a very quick, action-packed chapter, it was still fun. Even with other deep lore, deep theories. Hopefully, we get that Kaido flashback soon. Get some, background stuff going on. But yeah. On that note, please hit that like and subscribe. Help us out a bit, show some support. If you want to comment, feel free to comment, and we'd love to hear from you guys, get some conversation going back and forth. Again, we are going to be pushing the more social media aspects, try to engage with the community on that level, so look out for that. And
yeah guys, and that's all from us. I'm your man Rev.
I'm Log Zero.
Peace.
See you next time. Peace.